Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Tuesday night. It's NXT. It's me, the Great Grand Slam Booba, aka Bad Guy Jack, with the Wrestling Doll, aka Delia Dark. And you couldn't hear from the beginning, but Wrestling Doll was in fact laughing at this picture. We're going to talk about this segment. So much to really talk about. We have the Dusty Classic. It's just started. We have a new North American champion. Out the Mud had a tag team match where I thought was fantastic. We'll talk about it all after these intros. So let's have some intro. Hi, lovely folks. I mean, you already heard the intro. I don't know if I have to repeat it again, but it's an Unpopular Review, the NXT review show, the Great Grand Slam Pooba, Delia Dark, Double D. How are you?
Well, Dahlia Dark here is doing just fine, thank you. Had a fun week show this weekend, so all those videos are up, and people can see the former NXT/WWE superstar Top Dollar, now known as AJ Francis, in the independent wrestling scene.
That is fantastic. There is a link to her page, so please click that. We're going to do some plugs at the end, but we're going to do it right here since you guys are right here. Make sure you subscribe to her channel, the unofficial camera woman. She's doing big things. Fantastic. And speaking of big things, we see George in the chat. What's going on, George? He's always number one, George. He says, what up, everybody? NXT was pretty solid. That ending was, yeah, I don't understand it. We got New H-Man who says, I'm sorry, what is that? Because the chat went up. Hi there, guys. Happy New Year. We got that ending really. We got Jeff Lippman. He's fantastic. You can catch him on Wednesdays. He's on Wednesdays. He's an intelligent guy. He's a very handsome guy. He says, where's the other handsome guy? You can catch him on Wednesdays. We got Jeffrey in the chat. What up, Jack and Dot? I feel like I was saying it all right, and then I messed it up. Thanks a lot, Jeffrey. What was it? New H-Man said, I like your hair, Wrestling Dog. What about mine? I think I did a fantastic job.
Mine's usually straight on the air, but it's been humid and raining, so I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to take care of that another day. So for now, just leave it like this.
We got Good Chris in the chat. He said, my favorite person in NXT, Cora Jade, is single after she and Bron. Yeah, I heard about that. Apparently everyone else too, because they were keeping tabs on that.
Well, when you're with somebody and you have pictures of each other and you take them all down and you change your profile picture, that raises the suspicion that, yeah, y'all are done. And I would know. Been there, done that.
Understood. Jeffrey in the chat said JL should be the happiest. What is JL? Because Bron Breakker was on tonight. I expected him to be the first in the chat to sit here and say, Bron is here. Probably high five someone very intensely because he looks very intense. But he's not here. So someone take a look out for JL. Maybe right now he's not in the chat because he's celebrating with Bron Breakker himself. He probably went to Florida. He said, good job, Bron, and probably said, Baron, keep up. But let's talk about NXT. Let's talk about the opening segment. We have Blair Devenport against Nikkita Lyons. Now, this is actually interesting to me because it just opens up with them fighting. So I turn on the TV, right? I'm cooking because I'm trying to cook more. And I turn on the TV. I see these guys fighting in the parking lot, which is pretty much the norm for NXT, right? You settle all your differences in the parking lot because that's just where you handle it. You can't be at catering. It can't be, in the ring. Most of the time in the ring, right? But it can't really be in the ring. It gotta be in the parking lot. But it opens up with these girls fighting in the parking lot. Then they make their way to the ring. Blair's taking. She has more of the. She takes the advantage over Nikkita. Nikkita eventually makes a comeback. but I don't want to say it's too much. She's selling her leg because she has the leg brace, right? That was the reason of her for her taking so much time, taking time off because she had a leg injury. Blair spots it. She works on it. Nikkita looked pretty solid in here too. I feel like this is her second match since being back, right?
Her first solo match since being
First
back.
solo, and I thought she looked pretty decent for this being her first singles match. But Blair gets the win. She does like what's it called, like a leg chop, and then beats Nikkita Dolin.
Her knee and then just kicks her in the face.
But I like this though. I like that they had Blair go over. A lot of times when you have the returning babyface,
they have Nikkita the babyface over. But if
right,
and I look dominant and try to go after that belt
no,
again.
you said it all. Hold on, Wrestling Dog. Let me correct you. You meant to say dominated. You got to make sure you have the head motion and make sure you pronounce the word with such dominance. That's what I said. But that was very good.
That's why I leave that to you.
No, Jeffrey. No, not Jeffrey. You don't do the points. George, make sure we give Wrestling Doll like 10 points because she tried. Good job. What did you think about this segment, Wrestling Doll?
Well, I think it started out like every other episode of Love and Hip Hop, at least when I watch it, with girls fighting every now and then because they either say or do some crazy stuff. And Blair did attack Nikkita months ago. That caused her to be out for a good majority of the time, up at the height of her popularity. So it made sense that they had this brawl the way that they did. And as for having Blair winning, it's like if you're going to make her look like a formidable threat against Lyra again, then you got to make her look strong and have her win and not just consistently lose over and over and over and over and over again.
No, I agree to that.
I like Nikkita's gear tonight. It looks better than what she would normally wear. That's just my personal opinion.
No, she looked pretty decent. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought here. But Blair getting the win, smart move. I like it. I like that they went that route. I like that very much. Sorry, it was such a brain fart. I was reading the chat, then I got lost. We got. I did want to read into some of the chats. They said for George, he said the storyline between them isn't over. I agree. George also mentioned Ruka is going to get her look back. Absolutely. I forgot about Ruka because she's out.
She's also out too, yes.
Good Chris says the NXT parking lot is dangerous. Because they're now
saying it since we started.
I do want to say because George mentioned this, and I do want to get this off my chest. He mentions that because they announced the Women's Battle Royal for a shot at the NXT Women's Championship, it's supposed to be a 20-woman Battle Royal with the last 4. It'll be a fatal 4-way, and the winner will face Lyra Valkyria. But do you want to know why I'm upset, Wrestling Dog?
Why?
I'm glad that you asked that because I looked at the women and I see a lot of talented women on that graphic. But you know who was missing?
JC Jane.
Absolutely.
But there's a reason. She has to help bring Chase U back up since Andre Chase was gambling all that money away.
See, Andre Chase has taken opportunities from a lot of people. JC Jane should be in there. She should win that match and take the Women's Championship off of Lyra Valkyria. Shout out to her. I think she's been doing a killer job. Good for her.
So you wanted Cora to be the next NXT champion.
No, but I see Cora winning, but I want JC Jane to win. But Shawn Michaels is just too... It's just Andre Chase. Andre Chase is ruining everyone's life, you know? Come on. Andre Chase, see, if he wasn't gambling and having problems and sitting there saying, Papa needs a new pair of shoes, JC Jane would be in there. And I'd sit here and say, Shawn Michaels, this is why I'm a Bret Hart fan. And that's why Bret Hart has a head full of hair. Not a part of the Ball Syndicate. Let's keep moving on. We had a vignette that was narrated by what? You know what, George, a negative 15 points for Jeffrey. Negative 50 points because that's rude. Don't trust JC one bit. Very rude. Matter of fact, 20.
Until she shows the colors for now, she's Chase U's last hope.
She is. Did you see that video?
Yes.
Did you see that video that
I did see that video. Someone shared it on Instagram only because there's an indie wrestler who's been on AEW and NWA that I follow on social media.
All right.
They've said that like they were talking along the lines of she's getting signed to the WWE. So she's in the back, so we'll just see what happens. Who knows? Maybe she'll get put into participate in something in the future on Level Up.
Yeah, this could be a good thing. I didn't know who she was, but I feel like a lot of people say, I see, I don't know.
Her name is Maddie Rentowski.
Maddie, okay. Yeah, because that was the name I saw, but I didn't know who she was, so cool. Jeffrey is very rude. He said that's why Sean kicked Brett in the wheelchair, so that's very rude. Another.
Oh, look, George gave him some negative points, so there you go.
George is fantastic. Me and George are, I want to say, the NWA Tag Team Champions. George and we beat Jeffrey and whoever his partner was. We beat him. I'm just throwing that out there.
His partner was PK. That's who.
It was Shawn Michaels. Let me at him. Matter of fact, I have a beef with him because in 2K23, I got fired.
Yeah, the storyline. I've seen videos of people playing that.
He fired me for no. He fired me in my beautiful blue shirt. Awful. You're not a good noodle, Jeffrey. I want you to know that. That's what we're gonna bring that in. We're gonna bring the noodle stuff in. All right, so we have a vignette that's narrated by Cody Rhodes. I think he did a fantastic job narrating this. You know, he talks about the Dusty
He has the voice for it, so it makes sense.
He does, because like I was ready to buy a car. He was narrating or buy a stick of gum. Matter of fact, I saw this one commercial in tonight, and it was something about if you use this for your pet, it'll smell good. If you don't, it stinks. I forgot what that commercial was, but it was a hilarious commercial. It was fantastic. I see you in the chat, George. He said we dominated Jeffrey, not George. George is on my team. Jeffrey and I don't know who's partners. We just dominated Jeffrey.
No, he says that you two dominated Jeffrey, him, and you.
That is rude. You know what, George? A negative 20 points for you. Not that he's going to do it. I miss H-Man. He listens to me. Not like you guys. You guys have turned your backs on me. But yes, he does a fantastic job talking about the Dusty Classics. 8 teams. And the finals will be at Vengeance Day. And Cody throws this in. I think it's so great. He says, it's not about finishing the story, but about creating your story. I said, I hear you, Mr. Rhodes.
Gee, I wonder why he said that.
Well, he needs to create another story because the way the Rock just came in.
Yeah, I'm aware.
I saw this one. Yeah, no, The Rock has been ruining my life for years too because he keep doing the Fast and the Furious movie, and he brought in Bill Goldberg in 2003. I'm mixing up all these years. And he made the what was that movie? To Tooth Fairy. I didn't hate that movie as much.
I thought you said you did.
No, I say it for funnies.
Okay.
I don't even know if I'm telling the truth anymore when I talk.
I was about to say I remember hearing that, but anyways.
All right, so we got Mello and Trick. Let's talk about this segment real quick. Mello, you can't trust.
Has lost his damn mind.
Oh, he lost the floor. He lost his damn mind.
He lost his damn mind because he puts him and Trick in the tag team tournament. Like, boy, Trick wants to focus on whooping Ilya Dragunov to become the new NXT champion, not to fight with you to become the next NXT tag team champions. He's suspicious of your ass, thinking that you possibly were the one that beat him down and ensured that he couldn't wrestle for a bit. He's not going to want to work with you. He don't want to work with you.
He was very suspicious about it because when Mello came in, he said, "What you got, dog?" And then Mello's telling him this plan. He's like, "I don't know. I feel like I really need to focus because, right, it's Dragunov. So Dragunov, when he goes into a ring, he's really going to fight you, right?" So he's like, "I don't know. I need to focus." But Mello
gets in the ring. He wants to dominate everybody, so he needs to be prepared.
I feel like so Mello is charming, right? Mello goes and tells him, "Yeah, but I could be a Triple Crown champion, and you could be Trick's 2-belt Trick." And Trick, that's all Trick needed to hit.
Than 3 days?
I would hope so. Yeah, because I didn't like that either. I didn't like that very much.
Why take it off of him if you were just going to give it back to Dominic? That's all.
It's good heat. It's good. It's heat. I mean, when you hear that crowd and it's deflated, I will always go back to last week when they trotted out Jinder Mahal, who was trending on Twitter, and when they threw him out there before The Rock came out, and you hear the crowd be deflated, you're doing your job when you get an emotion out of the crowd. So as much as I was upset about that myself, they got an emotion out of me. So I thought
I was wondering
that's
when
what
Triple H was on when he did that. I was like, you brought up this man.
No. Don't blame
former
Triple H.
champion.
No. Wrestling dog, you've been working with me for a long time. You're blaming the wrong person. You gotta blame Shawn Michaels. What are you doing?
Shawn Michaels works in NXT. He's the creator of NXT. Triple H is with Raw and SmackDown. He's with that side.
What did Trick lose the belt at?
He lost it in NXT.
And who runs NXT?
Shawn Michaels.
Hello! Take that. George, I know this is going to be painful for you. I know you guys like Shawn Michaels. A negative 50 points for one Shawn Michaels. Give it to him. Give it to him. Let's get into this. Let's get into this match. What do you think? Before we get into this, what do you think about the teaming of Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker?
That it's one of the weirdest odd couple pairings I've seen in the last couple years of watching wrestling. And we had RK Bro.
that was unique. That worked. But
that one worked. This one, they're only temporarily working together. Mm-hmm. And then once it's all over, they just gonna go back to hating each other.
Real quick before we get into there, because this guy just so rude. But George is he's the new head of the table. He's my right-hand man of the Jack Pack community. He's my soul Sequoia. Jeffrey, you're who got kicked out of the bloodline? Oh, that's right. Everybody. Yeah, everybody that got kicked out of the group.
Wait, Sammy got kicked out.
No, he is Sammy. He is Sammy. I can see. I believe Jeffrey have a hairy chest. So yes, he is Sami Zayn. Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker went against Gallus. This match went as you expected it to be. These guys are teaming up. There was no way that they were going to lose in the first round. I did want to talk about this one spot though, right? In the beginning of the before this match happened, you had Baron Corbin and Bron Breakker, and they're just walking like Bron would be in front, and then Baron would go in front, and then Bron would, they were fighting to who would be in front of the camera. I thought that was funny. I would love to see a sitcom with these two. I just think it would be hilarious. There was a spot in the match where Baron, when he had one of the Gallus boys outside, he went to punch him, but he punched the ring post. So he was working his hand, and then Bron gets the hot tag eventually, starts throwing dudes. There's a spot. I don't understand the spot, right? One of the Gallus boys had the other guy like this, like in a scoop slam position, and I didn't understand what was going on there. I missed that spot, but Bron just says, "I'm going to throw both of you guys because I'm stronger than Thanos, Kang, and Superman, all three, and One Punch Man." Because no one talks about him enough, so I'm going to throw him out there too. The ending was Baron and Bron was arguing about the tag because Baron blind tags himself in. Bron pushes Baron out the way. He hits a spear, and then Baron. It's a lot of bees here, guys. Baron hits the end of days. These guys get the win. Wrestling Thor, the floor is yours.
Well, like you said, it went exactly the way that you had predicted. They're not going to put these two randomly together for a team only to have them lose the first round. It's not like you put somebody into a tournament by having them knock someone out or hit them with a chair, only for them to lose halfway through, Lexus. But, yeah, no, match was fine. I don't care for either team, really, because, I like Bron Breakker. Don't love him. I like him. I can't stand Baron Corbin for the life of me, and the Gallus boys bore the ever-living crap out of me, so I didn't really care for this match. It was fine. I just don't care for the teams. So,
I do got to sit here and say, I feel like, so it's not really often that I listen to the crowd, right? But the crowd was behind Bron. And, last year they were not so much behind him. When Bron was out there, he was getting a reaction. They wanted to see him go. When Baron did that hot tag or blind tag, the crowd seemed very disappointed. So,
well, yeah, because now they're actually interested in watching him again. They're not just bored of him after during his second NXT champion title run. Like
I said, this hill run, and I think I said a few times on here, that this heel run was just what he needed because the babyface stuff wasn't working.
A heel run can save a good babyface.
I think I feel like he was always gonna be good no matter what, right? Because he's just talented. I just wasn't a fan of the babyface stuff. I used to roll my eyes at it, but I could never take away from the talent that he is. So,
well, I mean, look who his father and uncle are. Just saying.
There we go. Especially his uncle. His uncle was. I don't know why. I just saw this random picture one time of him just walking a tiger to the ring. I said, WCW just didn't care at that point. But then again, who was going to tell Scott Steiner, hey, you can't do that? I didn't think so.
Oh, look, Jeffrey makes a good point. He says it's because Gallus are boring.
Well, it might be, but I also think it's the talent. I think it's
that,
the talent.
That as well, and it's also the lesser of two evils in the ring.
I feel like we could put this all in one segment. I do want to say to the person in the back, we don't have a commercial, so I'm just going to keep talking. There's no commercial. I see that he's funny. Is the person in the back, he looks relatively confused. I don't see no commercial. Oh, that is a commercial. I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought these were like intros. I'm so sorry. And then he laughs. You see him?
Well, they can't see him. We can.
Yeah. I promise you guys it's not John Cena. So we're going to play a commercial, and we'll be back for more NXT talk right here on Unpopular Review, which you're watching on Facebook, YouTube. You couldn't watch it on Instagram, but we didn't do that, and Twitter. So, commercial.
House of Black in the first match in this feud said, let's have a stipulation in match number 1 where if you lose, you disown your families and join the House of Black. And if we lose, I don't know what the hell the condition was. I don't think there was any counter condition. And if there's like, okay.
If we lose, we beat you up. That's what they're.
That's right. If we win, we're stuck with Danny Garcia, the charisma vacuum, for our lack of charisma.
I love Daniel Garcia.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
I prefer the Pizawa dance. I even prefer the...
Oh, no. That dance is on probation right now.
I mean, any dance I can do is a good dance. All right. So, yeah. So this match, obviously, you liked it. Listen, if you like Eddie Kingston matches, this was an Eddie Kingston match.
You know what, Wrestling Dog? I see that we have competition here. I think we're going to have to start either singing or dancing or something because those dance moves were outrageous.
Yeah.
I didn't know Jeff had
I'm not going
like
to
that.
dance like the charisma vacuum that is Daniel Garcia.
What?
Daniel Garcia is boring. The only reason why he started dancing was because he's so boring.
Wow.
He's a good wrestler. It's just his promo work was meh.
Well, I started dancing too because I was told I was boring.
No, you're not boring. Daniel Garcia is boring when he talks. You are not boring.
Oh, stop it. Come on. Me? Come on. I don't even think I want to continue the show anymore. Wow. That was AEW Collision. They go on right after they Collision go off the air on Saturdays. Give them a watch. It's a fun time. Check it out. Okay, so I feel like we could just put this in one segment here. Tiffany Stratton and Fallon Henley, right? Last week, Tiffany lost. And because she lost, she had to be Henley's maid. Pretty much, right? So she shows up.
Maid. She had to be one of the farm hands for the day.
This. Poor Tiffany. And I'm not even like the biggest
Poor Tiffany nothing. I don't want to hear no poor Tiffany. Poor Tiffany nothing. She has been nothing but an egotistical, money-hungry, bully, bitch, evil woman who needed to get knocked down a peg or 500. And being put into a farm to work was exactly what she needed. And even though she didn't like it and was complaining and didn't want to wear the clothes that Fallon was giving her just so she wouldn't get her normal clothes dirty, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you like to flaunt around like you have. You do not get to belittle people and not get anything handed to you like that.
But belittling people are fun. Just the other day, I had some guy. I told him, I said, I'll get up your hair now. What's ever left of it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Tiffany Stratton acts like a bitch, and so she should get taught a lesson.
Oh, someone is. Oh, we got spicy wrestling dog tonight because what? Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I want you to continue your rant. The floor is all yours. But look who we have in the chat. No, I didn't see NXT, but Braun cut the dead weight at what was holding him back. This
and
guy
what dead
is.
weight was that?
I guess he's talking about Baron Corbin. I think that's what he's talking about when he was tag
He
team.
teamed with Baron Corbin, so the dead weight that you're talking about, they're stuck together until that.
Yeah, I'm confused. So maybe JL, if you could explain that a little bit, because I thought you was talking about the tag team partner. So Tiffany Stratton, right? She has to help out with the farm. You mentioned, oh, I'm not high. Oh my god. She has to help out with the farm. You mentioned this before we went on the air, and I was so proud of you because you mentioned a show back in the day called The Simple Life. 2003.
Well, 2003, 2004.
2004 was season 2. I used to love that show. Season 2 was my favorite. It was a great time.
You
it
got
was a simpler
girls
time.
both filthy rich.
Yeah. So this was given simple life feel, especially with Tiffany Stratton dressed up, who looked like Paris Hilton from back in the day. I could see Paris Hilton wearing that pink hat and, dressed up like Barbie. There's a spot in this vignette where she is trying to, I don't know if she was moving something. Anyway, she mentions because she's wearing heels. It's a bad idea to be wearing this. She wants to take a break, but Henley said no.
Only did one thing. She only did one thing. She had to move some stuff around. She only did one thing. Like, girl, you have muscle that you use in the ring to fight. You could move something and not complain that much. And plus, you ain't going to take a break after doing one little thing.
You should see me at work. I do one simple thing, and I just sit here and go, I'm taking a break. We got Z the Silence. Shout out to this gent. He said, the fact that a black man just brought up the simple life is baffling. Why is that baffling? That was my show back in the day. I know the dance. I know the dance to Britney Spears' "Oops, I Did It Again," and I might bust that out one day because now I feel like I've been questioned. So, sir, I will do not do this because I might start singing some 98 Degrees because they had some fun songs. What are you laughing at? That was Nick Lachey and guys. I don't even know the other people. They were just there.
The reason why I'm laughing is because when you mentioned doing the "Oops, I Did It Again" dance, it reminded me of the scene from Will and Grace when Jack and Grace are doing the dance. That's why.
See, I didn't watch enough, but I remember seeing like a clip of that. That is great. That is fantastic. We might listen. When we do karaoke, we're singing "Oops, I Did It Again." Just letting you know. I'm gonna do the dance. I might even wear the red leather.
You have a red pleather bodysuit?
I gotta make my money some kind of way. Yes. So Tiffany Stratton, she's complaining about this stuff. She has to clean this horse named Buttercup, and no, not from the Powerpuff Girls. And I do want to see this match happen at Stand and Deliver. I think we should have Buttercup against Tiffany Stratton. Of course, the horse is going to go over because horses don't really lose. And then later on, this is where I thought Henley was a bully, right? She was very much of a bully. Now, don't get me wrong, Tiffany has done some bad things, but so has Scrooge McDuck. So has the creative Scooby-Doo. So I just sit here and think that there's a chance for people to grow. And you see Tiffany moving some hay, and then you have the girl says, should we tell you you're going to have to move that. And they don't do anything to help her. She's complaining, she's upset, she's dirty. And then Tiffany Stratton informs her like, oh, so I knew what it was like to be on your level for a day. This will never happen again. And she falls into some water, and they all laughed at her. Rude.
Well, she fell into something. She stepped in something. Then she fell in the muddy water, and then she started screaming, and then they laughed at her.
Rude.
Well, you know what they say. Karma is a bitch. She got her just desserts for everything she had been doing since day one.
She wasn't on Monday Night Raw.
You know exactly what I mean, and I know why you said that.
I love my sense of humor. It's just fantastic. I can see everyone's so upset at it, but no one's going to do anything about it. Let's talk about one. Lyra Valkyria. She comes out. She mentions, she says, we're going to figure out who's going to be the number one contender for her championship in 4 weeks. I think there's going to be a 20 women's battle royal next week with the last four females in the ring. It's going to be a fatal 4-way, and the winner will face her at Vengeance Day. Once again, very upset that JC Jane wasn't in there. George, if you're still in the chat, a negative 20,000 points for Shawn Michaels for that, because that is rude. But out comes Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez. Elektra Lopez comes out. She talks about how she could cash in whenever.
Lola talks about how she can cash in.
Oh, what I said. What I said.
You said Elektra.
Because I'm electric tonight. But Lola, thank you for that. I stand corrected. 10 points for Wrestling Dog. That was good. Lola Vice says she could cash in whenever. And Vicarious didn't do it. She's
like, do it. You have this. When I heard about this girl with this MMA background that was going to come in saying she's going to take over and put NXT on the map, basically. Where were you with all that? I don't watch you shake your ass on Instagram. That's not what I'm here to watch you do. I'm here to watch you fight, and I want you to fight me.
You know, there was someone in that crowd
pretending. So instead of just pretending like you're going to fight, instead of just saying what you're going to do it. Hey, she sounded better in this promo than she did in her last few promos.
She did. And I like that she mentioned her MMA background. You know, I think a lot of people forget. Sometimes I forget about that. But so she's mentioned saying, you're a total badass. You have this MMA background, and you've been doing a lot of talking.
All bark, no bite.
JL, I'm sorry. I wanted to mention because he said, why haven't we spoke about
Bron Breakker's but you totally missed it, and you were not going to talk about it again. You can just rewind to the beginning of this video.
Yeah. But still stay here because we're talking NXT, because you're here because we're talking NXT. And not only are we talking NXT, you're enjoying the conversation, you hit that like button, you subscribe to us so you can know when we come on, and then you can join us and you can talk more Bron Breakker. And we already did talk about Bron, so we're not going to repeat again. But yeah, Bron. And we said good things about Bron. Just so you know, JL, so don't have to punch a wall or go out in the streets and pick fights.
Or go to the NXT parking lot and pick a fight with somebody.
Oh, I think JL would go over big time, though. I think if he was in the parking lot, he would spear someone through a car and then take the car and then just go to a local. I'm trying to think of a fancy place that you guys have out there. I'm just going to say Wendy's. He seemed like a Wendy's guy. JL, I think you're a Wendy's guy. Are you a Wendy's guy? Let us know in the chat. But yeah, this segment eventually leads to these women going to blows. Lola and I shouldn't mention the spot because George mentioned in the chat. He said Elektra is definitely going to turn on Lola by enjoying.
Yes, because Lyra did say to Lola, "When are you going to tell your bestie that you're not going to use your contract opportunity to get the tag titles with her?"
Yep. And that's a good point, and you can even see that they're working that. And I also think, too,
they're doing with them what they were supposed to do with Kaylani and Dana Brooke, which they didn't do because they decided to let Dana go in the middle of all that, and I'll give a proper explanation as to why the hell they did that.
Okay. All right.
But then Lyra challenges Lola. They get ready to fight. Elektra hits her first, doing a cheap shot like always. They attack her 2-on-1, and then Tatum out of nowhere comes in, starts hitting Lola while Lyra's hitting Elektra. They both get out of the ring, and then Elektra screams out, "You and me versus you two anytime, anywhere."
You know, I'm taking a big liking to
Tatum.
Yes. She's just a good friend. You know, she see her friend getting her ass kicked. She listened to that TLC song, What About Your Friends? Good job, Tatum. I don't know why Lyra's so, I don't know why she's so scared. I mean, you have backup. Just wanted to throw that out there. JL says he's a Five Guys kind of guy. They make good burgers in front. We have a segment with Ava and
We have a segment with the NXT North American champion, whose name I'm not going to say because then this one's going to make that noise. So they had their little discussion. Then Lexis King comes out saying, like, I'm ready for a title match anytime, anywhere. I have a contract and all that stuff. And Dragon Lee's like, I'm always ready to fight. And Dragon Lee called Lexis King un cabrón, which for people who are not Mexican or that do not speak Spanish, it is slang for an asshole, a bitch, a fucker. It's basically profanity in Mexican slang.
Wait a minute. So Dragon Lee
used the swear word. He just used it in a different language so that they wouldn't bleep it out.
Nope.
Listen,
Shawn Michaels should suspend that.
Listen. I'm just going to say this. I'm not Mexican at all, but there are a few people that I know that I call that when they act stupid. I don't mean it. I say it playfully, but I don't mean it.
So what you're saying is that what you're saying is one Mr. Lee sat there on live TV and cuss and got away with it.
He cussed in a different language. Not everybody's going to understand what he said.
I did.
They're going to be like, what does that mean?
I speak at least like 7 languages.
Did he mean jabron? That's what they're going to think for people that
I still think he should be fined for cussing on air. Because what if a little kid heard that and start repeating? What if a kindergartner start repeating that? Is that what we want?
Kids nowadays see so much worse. They see so much worse. Also, are you,
Wrestling Doll, are you condoning this?
I'm not condoning it.
Right at you, madam.
Listen, I'm just saying kids hear a lot from the music, from the TV, from the video games that they play. Listen, I got a 13-year-old nephew who's grown up hearing my family curse, my sister hit my brother-in-law, his older brother. I never swore around him. I told them, don't talk like that too much around him or he's going to start saying it a lot. And now he swears the most in this household. Cool. And they get on his case about that. And I told them, y'all did this.
Well, that's not cool. I actually said that's cool, but no, that's not cool. Jeez. You know what I like about a show? It always just goes onto the deep end.
Yes, and that's why we got voted best overall show.
Yeah, I'm sorry. People are not talking about that enough. With your dead plants in the background and your haircut. They're
not dead, they're plastic.
Yeah, just like his personality. So let's keep moving on. Thank you for that, Wrestling Doll. That might have been a great clip. That was fantastic, like me. You know what it is, guys? I had some really good tea. You see my little Pac-Man cup? I'm in such a mood. And tonight is
well, I'm not drinking tea. I'm drinking black cherry juice that's been diluted by my ice cubes.
I mean, see, the ice cubes would be like such an asshole because you'll put ice in your drink and then it'll just like
turn into water.
Yeah. Just rude. Like if I'm having a Sprite, why is this? What is going on here?
I am one of those weird people that doesn't mind when my sodas get a little watery from the ice.
Okay.
I don't mind it. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. But I'll drink it, just finish it up so I don't waste anything.
You know, we got to give a shout out to these two. I mean, you know, we got Jeffrey. I mean, and everyone in the chat. I'm sorry. I know Jeffrey. We saw him in the chat. So I don't know if he's still around, but he's Jeffrey's laughing. He said, "I broke you like you're a toy." I don't know why. But because
there's been times where I've said stuff that made you laugh so hard that people said like I broke you.
I know when you start hearing me laugh like the Joker, that's when you know I've been got good. So yeah, there's a North American Championship match later in the night that's going to play into the show, obviously. But then we have Briggs against Oro Mensah. So Briggs wants another rematch for the
Heritage.
Thank you. I agree though with one. Oh my God, I'm blanking on all these names. It's like Noam Dar. I agree with Noam Dar because like dog, you got disqualified, you lost, go to the back of the line. And Briggs is like, no, I'm big, so I'm going to get another match because I'm. And then they mentioned something about the team breaking up, and he said, "Oh,
they wanted to take responsibility for the team breaking up, even though it was nobody's. They're not responsible for breaking it up. They all decided to go their separate ways with a little push from Jensen."
We got George in the chat. He's right though. Briggs did dominate Mensah.
Mensah always gets dominated when he's fighting by his damn self.
Not for
he's
nothing.
Literally the punching bag in the metaphor, and I don't like saying that because I like watching him in the ring.
I do too. So I want to sit here and take a moment.
Since day one, I've liked watching him in the ring. Before he became part of the metaphor, I liked watching him. I became a fan, especially during that 5-man ladder match for the NXT.
Right. I almost forgot that he was in that. Belt. Absolutely.
I love that. But now he's literally become the punching bag in metaphor whenever he has a solo match. With no Dar, it's fine because he runs away because he's a chicken shit champion. But Oro Mensah, he doesn't have the belt or anything. But every time he either goes into fight in Noam Dar's place or he fights by his damn self, he always turns into the punching bag. Why is he the one that's getting beaten up to put other people over? Why is it?
I agree. No, I agree because Mensah is so great, and I wanted to take a moment because Briggs won, cool for him, but Oro is just I really want a lot more for him. I'm glad that you mentioned that he was in that ladder match. I forgot about that. I remember the debut. I forgot who he went against for the debut, but I remember seeing him for the first time.
He went up against Obafemi for his debut.
No, that was someone else because that's when he changed. Because I remember his first one, he won. When he went against Femi. He lost. That was the first time I remember seeing him. I said, yo, he just threw that man. I became a fan after that. But he had a little bit of momentum in the beginning. I like him in the metaphor. It's great. I just want him to win more. I want him to do more. I'm tired of him. I think he's such a great talent. And
now, if NXT wants to make the metaphor seem like an actual threat of a team instead of just being a comedy skit, you can't keep having them lose every damn time.
But they
have a bigger loss record.
Right. I don't know if I want to change anything about because I like the vibe that they bring. Like, they're not super serious.
No, they can be fun.
I just want them to win more. Yeah. I feel like Noam Dar wins more. It's just Oro.
Noam Dar wins more by having his teammates help him or figuring out a way to get somebody disqualified or being a chicken shit champion and making sure that he doesn't get pinned or runs away and all that stuff. That's how he does it, which annoys the living crap out of me since, like I said before on here, I do not like chicken shit champions.
We got Jeffrey.
Never will. And I know somebody who's trying to go for a belts in another company. And one of the people that he's seen with half of the tag team champions over there is a chicken shit champion who literally runs around for half a match and then gets in the ring after a little while.
You would not despise me because I would be running around and just like how you just said, they run around.
You would be the exception to the chicken shit champion thing for me.
God.
Not the fuck class.
God darn it. This is why y'all gotta be tuned in on Tuesday because we be on fire. But Mensah. Oro, I want more for him. Briggs, I did want to highlight because Jeffrey, because we got two Jeffs in there, but Jeffrey said Briggs is awesome. Jeff Whitman says Lash winning that battle royal next week.
Breakup tournament.
Okay, so Jeff got Lippman, Evil Dose. Got Lash winning the battle royal next week. Jeffrey says, I can't take serious. He said he can't. He can't take Oro seriously. Yeah, because he loses a lot. And George,
he's the butt of the joke in the metaphor.
You never want to be the butt, unless it's J-Lo's butt. I don't know how to follow up after that. Sorry.
Neither do I.
Thank you. Let's talk about Tony D and Stacks with
Out the mud.
Against Out the Mud. I do want to sit here and say Out the Mud. Really, I feel like they really showed out tonight. I thought this was one of the better matches that they've had. There's been matches, and I was like, yeah. But they really showed out tonight.
But yeah. They showed up and they showed out even if they did not win.
Yeah, and that's fine. I think you can win by having a performance like this. I mean, some of the moves that they did.
You win the people over.
Right. And they got the people involved in this tag match. I really just want to highlight them a lot more because Tony D and Stacks did the tag champs and they're great, they're cool. But Bronco and Lucian, I like I said, I haven't really been sold on. But I thought this match, I was like, okay, we might have some serious contenders here. And Jeff Lippman, he says, Out the Mud trading up with Jada and ditching Scripps. And I think that would be the wise move.
Well, depending on Jada's promo and talking skills.
Well, you got to find someone to combat Adrian Rizzo. I hope I'm saying her name right.
Adriana Rizzo.
Adriana. Okay. I was close because I said an A. So that's George, 5 points for my pronunciation. But you got to find someone to combat her. Scripps is not going to put hands on her.
Listen, that's fine. I'm just saying, if Jada can talk the talk, then yeah, she could like replace.
But see, that's the thing. She don't even have to talk. She's
not the greatest talker. If she can do it in the ring, then they all can be together, and Scripps can just manage them all.
That's what I'm saying.
Even though he gets in the ring from time to time.
That's the thing. She does not have to talk. She could just be someone who can combat Rizzo. That's all it is. And she don't have to be the talker. Now, Script can continue to talk and be the mouthpiece. No, be the mouthpiece for that team and just have her on there because, hey, there's a woman here. What are we going to do? Same thing like when you had Hit Row against Legado del Fantasma. Yep.
When it was just the boys, they didn't have anybody, and then out came Elektra out of nowhere to go up against BFAB, which I do not remind me of the matches they had in NXT because those were awful. Oh. I was there live for a couple of those. Those were horrible.
Oh, you were there?
Yes.
We got
the hard cam area when BFAB went up against Elektra Lopez, and I was like, "Girl, you need more you need more training, you need more time, you need more everything. Just please get out of there." I wanted it to get squashed so badly. Now I'm done.
Before we go, we already talked about the NXT Anonymous with Chase U, but let's talk about this segment, and then we'll do a commercial. Obafema, he was asked when he was going to cash in his breakout tournament contract or whatever it is. It's a cash in. He's interrupted by Lexis King, and I immediately looked at Lexis King. I said, "Why are you bothering this big black man?
Leave Obafemi alone, cabron."
No, this man bothered this guy, and I should have known, right? Because part of me thought it, but I didn't think he would cash it. Because I said I don't see him cashing in for the NXT Championship, right? But I said I could see him cashing in for the North American Championship, but I didn't think it would be tonight, right? And then this happened. I said, "Oh, they're going to put a feud between him and Lexis King. Cool. All right, that's cool. Going to talk about everything later in the night." But when he sat there and said, "Lexis King, he's going to be in the main event," and the new announcer lady said, "Yeah," and he said, "Okay." And I sat there and said, "Oh, now you just woke this man up. This man was in a suit. Later in the night, he was in his I'm going to kick ass gear." That was on you, Lexis King. But do you want to have any thoughts before we do a commercial and then break into the Gigi Dolin and Cora Jade match?
No, not really. Even though I dressed like him one time on the air, I really do not care for Lexis King like that.
Outstanding. All right, we're going to play a commercial, and then we're going to talk more NXT. This is Unpopular Review. We'll be right back after these words.
I think Nia Jax is a credible heel enough to face Bianca Belair.
But Nia's a Raw talent.
Nia's a Raw talent, which is why you have her win the Royal Rumble.
You think Nia is going to win the Royal Rumble?
Nia's my pick.
You out of your fucking mind.
Nia's my pick. I think Becky wins the Elimination Chamber. Have her win the Elimination Chamber. Have Nia win the Royal Rumble.
I'm learning all kinds
That's
of things
how
in
I would-
2024, and it's only like day 6. I've been watching Cat Williams. I learned that you can get a contact high from StreamYard, because that's obviously what has happened to executive consultants here. Is he's got a contact high from Willie's stash. Nia Jax is winning the Royal Rumble. You out of your fucking mind?
If it's not Nia Jax, it's going to be Naomi. That's the way you book it. There's no woman on that SmackDown roster who is credible enough to be in a WrestleMania main event picture with Bianca Belair. Nobody's checking to see Bayley and Bianca Belair for the 14,000th time.
I don't agree with that. I think Sasha Banks would have a better choice. I mean, a better chance at winning the Royal Rumble if she came back, because it'd probably be bigger for her than it would be Naomi.
Granted, you are correct, but Sasha and Bianca Belair for a WrestleMania rematch will be huge. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be Bayley's going to get turned on by Damage Control. Right,
but
exactly.
That's what I said.
Like the main event match.
Did you say they're gonna face them at the Rumble or at Mania?
I think they're gonna wrestle at Mania. I think it's gonna be Sasha and Bayley versus the Kabuki Warriors, because the Kabuki Warriors already made their intentions clear. They want to win the tag team championship. That's why Piper Niven and Chelsea Green lost the titles to a big face tag team, so they could drop the title. They're transitional.
Right.
It's just get them over. They're gonna win, and then they're gonna challenge for the tag team titles. They're gonna win those titles, and then they're gonna kick Bayley out because Bayley failed to beat. When that
I'm
happens,
so fucking lost with your rhetoric. I'm lost.
Who, me?
You convoluted this storyline worse than Tony Khan could do it.
I'm telling
What are you
you,
talking
it
about?
writes itself.
Stop it. It doesn't write itself. This is what's going to happen. Dakota Kai is going to kick Bayley out of Damage Control. The main event's going to be Io Sky versus Bayley for the title. That's not if Sasha is not involved. If Sasha's involved, then it changes everything. It's not going to happen. So, listen, it is what it is. Stop trying to make Nia Jax a Royal Rumble champion. Stop it.
Nia Jax should win the Royal Rumble. She deserves it. She's been back. She's been
And
dominant.
guess what? I should win Lotto, but guess what? That shit don't happen either.
You should win Lotto.
I have a few things to say about that ridiculous commercial. One, why is EC wearing 3D glasses? Two, was Willie in the bathroom? And why was he? I don't know what to like. They make these commercials, and I'm supposed to like, yeah, and you gotta go. I mean, you should check the Raw and SmackDown review, because you might see Willie in the bathroom. You might see the last daddy crapper on promoter from Wednesdays. But check them out. It's a great time. I laughed so hard watching that commercial. I kept saying, and I love, they do Vic so wrong. You know what they did? All you heard from Vic. the 3 seconds of Vic. Don't even bother. Like, I just want the people to know, if I'm not saying it, don't have me in the commercial at all. Please don't do that. Do not bother me.
I'm just gonna say this. Other than the executive consultant saying Nia Jax winning the Royal Rumble, I agree with most of the stuff he said in there. The thing with the Kabuki Warriors and Bayley and Damage Control writes itself, so that I do agree on.
I feel like this.
Now I can't breathe.
It was such a well done. I feel like, and it's, what took it away from me was, this was a well done commercial, right? A lot of intelligent things. There was a great debate between him and the last guy.
The commercial.
He always speeds stuff up. That's why I tell him, you can't. I'm not even going to try to get there. But yeah, check them out on Saturdays around 11, 12. I mean, you follow Unpopular Review, you're going to see it. And they talk Raw, SmackDown. Great
Make
stuff.
sure you press the bell for notifications so that when we do go on the air, you'll be notified right away.
We got in the chat, Jeff wanted to know if that was Steve Pena or Conan. And then we have, oh my gosh. Then we got Good Chris. She says the only person who should win the Royal Rumble, and that's barely. George disagrees and says that's not going to happen. Now, this is an NXT show. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I do think the executive have a good point when he mentions Nia Jax. I had Bayley too, but the way it's going right now, and save thoughts and stuff, I could see Nia winning. So I don't think he's off.
Well, I mean, she's participated every time and gotten pushed out by everybody every single time because she's ginormous.
We got George who mentions Nia Jax is not going to win the Rumble. It's going to be Liv Morgan. I can see her returning, but I don't see her winning. I don't see that being a thing. But it'd be great to have her back. Miss Liv Morgan. Okay, so we got the next match. We have Gigi Dolin against Cora Jade. I didn't take a whole lot of notes for this. I just knew Cora Jade was going to win. I see her.
They're putting her over. They got to make her look like a threat to Lara.
Oh, absolutely. She's going to be the one.
I love Gigi, but I'm not surprised that they had her be the one to take the
And
elegant.
she seemed like Gigi took such a fall, though. Like, maybe I said this before on the show, but she seemed like she was taking such a.
Listen, she went from being the second most popular of not Damage Control, Toxic Attraction.
I was going to say, what timeline are you on? I want to join.
Listen, I mixed it up for a brief second. She went from being the second most popular member of Toxic Attraction to now being the one that's like not as paying much attention to in NXT anymore. Ever since they put JC Jane to go with Thea Hale and go to Chase U, now JC's got eyes on her.
No. To go save Chase U.
Yes, to go save Chase U, even though she went before that storyline happened. But yeah, no, Gigi's been overlooked for the most part by a lot of people. I'm still a Gigi fan, and I'm still a JC fan, so nobody can say that I'm not. Even if I didn't like them in Toxic Attraction, even though I used to complain about them always helping Mandy, but that's because they were known as being Mandy's lackeys and helping her all the damn time. But I like them both, whether they work together or separate, even though them whining and moaning and bitching and complaining about not having the belts all the time was fucking annoying. And we talked about how Trick Williams had the belt for only 3 days and lost it. Talk about how Toxic Attraction lost the belts to freaking Dakota Kai and Raquel Rodriguez at Stand and Deliver, and then they come back to NXT on Tuesday and they win the belts back from them. It's like,
yeah, it was a really short run.
I hate that kind of heat. That heat is annoying as shit.
But see, you see that? So this is what I tell people sometimes.
I get that they want to bring out an anger from us and get us invested.
There you go.
Do it another way. I feel like that takes credibility away from people. Like, if you leave the belt on them for a few days, it's like you put the belt on somebody, but you take it away so fast. It's like you don't even trust them to have the belt long enough.
I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a super big fan of it either, but I don't mind if it's occasionally. Like we mentioned with the Trick stuff, I was deflated. But then a few days later, I was like, okay, that's what they were going for. We got George. He says he's a Gigi fan as well and a Fallen Henley fan. We got Good Chris. He says to George, George is wrong. Bailey's winning the Royal Rumble. Well, we don't have the scoop here, but we don't have
the scoop yet, and the Rumble is a couple weeks away. So,
and we're gonna be there.
Yes,
it's gonna be a good time. We're going to be.
Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view because you never know who they're going to bring as a surprise, as a return, all that fun stuff. And I do not ever look at the dirt sheets that talk about what the list is, so I never know. So.
Well, the fun thing about the Rumble is one, like how you mentioned, it's unpredictable.
Yeah, it was fun until they decided to announce who was going to be in it starting 2022 for some random reason.
Wait, what?
When they had the Women's Rumble for 2022, they announced a big majority of who was going to be in it. So there was very little.
I get what you're saying now. You just want a surprise. No, I get that.
I don't want them to tell us who is going to be in the Rumble. We can assume that most of the women on the SmackDown and Raw roster and some of the NXT women are going to be there, but I don't need to know who exactly.
We got shout out to Roderick. I mean, he has this yelling fetish and he wants people to yell. He's out of energy. Was you yelling through the keyboard, young man? We got Jeffrey in the chat who says Nia Jax win the Rumble. Nah, bro. It's possible, though. It's honestly possible.
He says, you know what, Jack, I'm going to give you a break because I'm too exhausted and I was using all my energy to make Katrina rant and scream.
I can imagine he's on his little keyboard. He probably has one of those kind of laugh when he sends something like, this is cool, I just got him. And he just spills peanut butter on the floor because he's a klutz. We're glad that you're here, Roderick. Glad to see you. And he says, hi, Wrestling Doll. Yeah, there we go. That's Jack? Yeah, what about Jack? No, I don't want his hi. I might catch something like Dorati. I don't know. I don't have a cool name for it. All right, so let's talk about this tag team match, and then we get to the main event. We have Nathan Frazier and Axiom. I don't even know why I just put... My note is literally Nathan and Frazier. I meant to put Nathan Frazier and Axiom going against Hank and Tank. I just want to say real quick in this match, Booker T has me on the floor because he does not like Hank and Tink's attire. He is not pleased. He said these guys.
Is there anything he does like about them?
No, this man said, "Are those cutoff shorts?" He said, "They went outside like this." He said, "These guys are bums." Booker T, and no one's gonna say anything to Booker T. No, Booker T was like, "Nah, these guys are I can't take them seriously. Look at these shorts." Just Booker T is so great. Him on commentary was one of the best things to happen, and I'm glad I get to live this life, this timeline of Booker T behind the mic because I just think Booker T says whatever goes on top of his head. But Nathan, so the match was pretty much speed against power. Hank can take all the power in case you guys couldn't tell. Nathan Frazier and Axiom is the speed. Nathan and Axiom goes over, get the win. They're a really good team. I when I saw the bracket at first, I thought it was gonna be Nathan and Axiom against Bron and Baron, which I'm interested in seeing that match. But I was like, damn, they're gonna get eliminated early. So you have Hank and Tank out here to put over everyone's a babyface in this match, right? But to put over the
they have one heel versus heel team match, so they gotta have a babyface versus babyface match.
We got George said Nathan Frazier and Axiom are going to get dominated by Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin. I don't think they're going to get dominated, but they're not going to
put up a hefty fight. They're going to put up a hefty fight, even though Nathan Frazier did get dominated by Bron Breakker before.
He did.
His mouth.
A smart man this time around because Nathan Frazier did not talk a lot this time. He let his legs do all the running and not his mouth.
Well, he had to learn to have something on him. Stop running.
Oh my god! Damn. I'm surprised him and Axiom are still buds because Axiom be setting them up, and then Axiom said, "You didn't see my face." And I want to say,
"We can't see your face. Your mask looks like a Power Ranger. Your mask looks like one of the Power Rangers masks from the Mystic Force, the one that had the Minotaur." That's what that reminds me of.
I stopped watching Power Rangers at the time, but the knowledge right there, you said Mystic Force, that was the mid-2000s, and I'm pretty sure
that's the last of the franchise I watched, because after that, I felt like it went downhill.
Oh, no, it very much did. No, it did. My nephew insulted me. I sat here, and I told this little crap, right? I said, yo, this is what I grew up watching, and I showed him the 1990s ones that I grew up watching.
I showed that to my youngest nephew, too. He liked it.
See? Good job. Mine's didn't. He said, this looked cheesy. And I never wanted to hit a Betrayal DDT so hard in my life. But I can't do that to him because he's my nephew's. And I love the kid. But I was close to hitting him with a wrestling leg sweep because Power Rangers in the 1990s was the best. That 2017 movie, I dare you to tell me that was good, I will not only kick you in the knee.
I have not seen that movie.
Good. And it's actually not a bad movie.
I don't plan on seeing that movie. I don't care.
It's not even, I kid you not. And cool.
It might not be bad, but I don't want to watch it.
It's not going to beat 1995 Power Ranger movie or Power Ranger Turbo, which was fantastic. And I think I'm just showing how much of a geek and nerd I am and my age.
We're both showing how much of a geek and nerd we are. I mean, we dressed up for the Halloween special.
And I saw that you liked the Pokemon music because back in the day they used to have the jukebox. Yes. I'm thinking about cosplaying as Team Rocket. That's something that hasn't been done.
I want to cosplay as Jesse.
I want to be Meowth.
Who's going to be our James?
You know what? That's right. No, Chris could be the Meowth. He does look like a cat. Yeah. There we go. I should be. I should wear the purple wig. We already know what's going on for this year's Halloween, so we already spoiled what we're doing. We got George. He says, Mighty Morphin Power Ranger was my favorite than Zeo and Turbo in space, but the other was pretty good. I'm sorry, I got lost in the thing. Zeo was cool. Turbo, I like. Space, I started to fall off of at that point. We got Good Chris. He says, Bailey. What did he take away points from Bailey? 110 points favorite to win the Royal Rumble. CM Punk a negative 150 to win. Punk is winning.
Punk is winning.
I feel like that's a give me.
I mean, up until now, he hasn't won a Royal Rumble in WWE as far as I've seen. Or if he has, I forgot.
We got Jeffrey in the chat. Chris is going to add something of you in this commercial. I'm pretty sure of it.
We
Just-
know he's gonna edit it.
Yeah,
He's
no.
gonna speed it up super fast.
I hate
And
that.
we're gonna ask for the normal version of it.
Yeah, because you're not getting me in the chipmunk version. If you want the chipmunks, go watch it on Netflix. Yeah, you're not getting that out of me. Let's get into this main event, and let's call it home, Wrestling Dog. We want to say thank you guys for watching Unpopular Review, the NXT edition. You know, Bad Guy, Wrestling Dog. We appreciate you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe. You said there's a notification button that they should be hitting too, just so they know.
Yes, when you go onto our YouTube channel to subscribe, or when you see it and you're already subscribed, you'll see a little bell. So press that and make sure you press the all button so that whenever we do any shows, you never miss an episode.
And I think it's important to point out that although we are the best, there is the Mike Knott show. There is the AEW division. Oh
Dynamite.
AEW Dynamite. There's
There's
a
Raw
D in there.
SmackDown. There is AEW Collision. There is pay-per-view reviews. There's also so many different things. Top fives whenever we do them.
Yeah, we might be bringing that back soon. And Jeffrey says we appreciate you, sir, because you're always in the chat. So thank you, sir. And George said again, the ending was yeah, I didn't expect it. I blame Shawn Michaels for it. So let's talk about this main event. Dragon Lee goes against Lexus King. It went with how you expect it to be. Dragon Lee goes over, and you would think that's the end of the show.
We get a cash in. Femi cashes in. They have a second match with Dragon Lee all exhausted from retaining his belt. And then out of nowhere, the match goes on the way that you possibly think it could. A battle of power versus speed, but the power won. And Femi is your new NXT North American champion, which means for this one, he doesn't got to see Dragon Lee on his TV on Tuesdays anymore.
Outstanding, because you know who I expected to beat Dragon Lee if it wasn't going to be Big Oba? That's right, guys. One Juventud Guerrero. He was just waiting at the bits. He was chopping at the bits, but he wanted to give, this big man his moment. I actually like this moment, honestly. I really do. I see George. I don't think you're a big fan of it, George, but I am. I like this. Shout out to.
Listen, you got to give some love to our men of color being champions.
Yes. I love this one. I was a fan of what he was doing.
And look on the bright side. Femi is champion, and it's not February, Tony. Listen, every time Tony Khan gets a black man a champion, it's in February.
Not for nothing. You say that. But just last year in February, he mailed me a championship. I said, I don't even work here. So yeah, absolutely right. But and Jeffrey said, and it's before Black History Month.
One of the only exceptions was when the Acclaim had the belts, and they dropped it to white boys.
Who they dropped it to? I forgot who they dropped the belts to.
They dropped it to the Gunn brothers, who were the worst champions ever. Who, for some reason, Shea Sawyer loves so damn much, and I don't know why. They're nothing but jokes. They remind me of those two twin brothers on TikTok who mispronounced some word, and they became viral for that.
You talking about the one who said, "I'm an island boy"?
Yes.
That one?
Yes.
I cringed so hard when I heard that.
And that's what the Guns make me feel like every time I watch them before they split from their father.
We got, I'm not even going to say this number. I mean, you're better at these zeros than I am, but George giving you this amount of points.
He gave me 2.445 million for that, unless he meant to put a comma for that one to make it 2,045,000,000 points.
George, I gotta give it up to George. He's come a long way, because I remember a time where he would give me points, and he would give me that amount of points, but there would be a negative in front, so I'd be in depth. But he's been so kind with the points. Good job, George. That's why you're our point guard. So we're gonna have that until H-Man come back. Then I have to fire you. But respects.
But yeah, I cashed in before Damon.
Yes.
Listen, Damon has been smart for the most part and not cashed in sometimes because somebody interfered and stopped him. But also, why would y'all?
Go ahead, you can say Finn.
I was about to say, don't y'all get tired of watching everybody that wins Money in the Bank cash in the night of or the very next day?
Yeah. I like when they stretch it out. Edge held it for
I
a
mean,
long
Io
period of time.
stretched out for a good minute. She didn't cash it in night of or the next day.
You got did you say Carmelo? Because I don't think I heard you.
No, I didn't say Carmelo. I said
Oh,
Io.
okay. Yeah. No, because I was gonna say Carmelo.
No,
She held
Carmelo
that.
took his time too, and I was
Yep.
there for that cash in.
Oh, nice.
And that wasn't that I became a fan of Isaiah Swerve.
We got right, because what you call it?
He was
Cash,
Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Yeah. No. I'm saying I'm trying to think of the name. Carmelo. George says Damian Priest is gonna have a failed cash in. I can see that as well.
Yeah, we could see that as well because the Judgment Day is disintegrating literally as we know it.
Absolutely. But one guy who's saving it is R-Truth. We gotta give him his flowers.
Yeah, he's saving Judgment Day while also being part of Awesome Truth yet again.
A man of multiple talents. But not
he is a national treasure.
He is just fat, and he just doesn't age. I mean, I listen, you guys gotta watch the Monday SmackDown. I mean, the Raw and SmackDown review show. They're gonna talk about that segment. I just want to sit here and say real quick, segment had me on the floor. Had me on the floor.
Does that to everybody.
He's so great. Matter of fact, my favorite thing is when he had that segment with Damian, and Damian is laughing. Like, you could see him break character. It just made me laugh, so I loved it.
He has that talent. Listen, if he could break Brock Lesnar twice, he can break anybody.
Brock Lesnar who's on the floor. R-Truth is fantastic. And I know that the Raw and SmackDown crew, they're going to talk about it, so check them out. So with all that, the baby Judgment Day had me laugh. I said, is that CGI? I mean, not even CGI. Was it? AI. Is that AI? Yeah, I looked and said, is that AI? And I looked at one baby. I said, I believe it was. It looked totally AI. One baby had a beard. I said, what? I said, who's that baby? It was great.
That would be Finn Balor because he's.
I know it was Finn. It was Finn. But no baby should have no facial hair. I thought that was great. I thought it was fantastic. But yes, check them out. We're gonna do some plugs again. The Raw and SmackDown review is on Saturdays around 11-12. It's in the afternoon, sometime 1. The Mike Knox show Monday, 6 p.m. It's a fantastic show. He does a fantastic job. Shout out to Mike Knox. Obviously, us on Tuesdays, of course. Wednesdays, AEW Dynamite. You got Evil Doge. You got Dan the Man. You have Vinny. And check them out. Saturdays, we have AEW Collision. And it varies. Sometimes you have Dan the Man. Sometimes you have Shay Sawyer. Sometimes you have Evil Doge. Hey, maybe I'll make an appearance back on a Saturday. Am I missed on a Saturday? Who knows? I might show up. So you just follow them probably. And also do entertainment. There's a link there. They just did.
Zoolander.
There was Zoolander. There we go. Good job.
I've subscribed to the channel and I have the notifications on, so I keep track.
That is fantastic, and I felt read like a Cat in a Hat book. So yes, you subscribe to them. Check out entertainment. It's a great time. We're gonna get ready to end because I'm gonna watch Echo.
I just have to answer this for what George says. He says, I don't get it. Rhea Ripley's a heel, but the crowd cheers for her. Is she a heel or babyface? Listen, when you pair up a heel against another heel that's even more hated, people are going to cheer for that heel. Don't you remember when Austin Theory kept going up against Roman Reigns saying he was going to cash in on him for his belt? Who are the people cheering for? Austin Theory or Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns, because nobody likes Austin Theory. There are some people that actually did like Roman at that time, but no one likes Austin Theory except for Austin Theory's reflection and now Grayson Waller, so he has someone else to keep his ass with.
Except his reflection. That's great. Oh, that's so great. So yes, check out entertainment. We're going to be reviewing Echo tomorrow. We haven't picked a time yet, so we're going to review the first 3 episodes and then the next 2 episodes on Thursday. And with that said, this is our opportunity to plug things that we're doing outside on Popular Review. So Wrestling Doll, the floor is yours, madam.
Well, like we said in the beginning of the show, I have my YouTube channel, The Unofficial Camera Woman. I was just at a show this past Saturday. I recorded all the matches. I put them up. Like I said last show, I was going to said show where a former WWE star that got let go was going to be in there, which was Top Dollar, which was a fun time. It was a great match. Everybody was waiting for that match. People were excited. Listen, they put up the pictures. 600 people were in that place. Ooh. And it's at a brewery. And there's room, but it gets cramped. And there were not enough chairs, so there was standing room.
Outstanding. Check her page out.
And I'll be recording some matches this coming weekend as well.
Ooh, outstanding stuff. I don't know where that hiccup come from. You're not part of the show, Hiccup. Get out of here. So check out her channel. There's a link there. So if you haven't subscribed to it yet, subscribe to it. I have a podcast. Shout out to Jeffrey.
Podcast.
Absolutely. He said Jeffrey said shout out to both me and Shay. He said it was a great episode. We record on a Sunday and then push it out on a Monday. We give our thoughts on the week of wrestling. I make my dad jokes and I correct Sawyer because, you know, I got to help the youth. So with that all said, subscribe to that, please. That would be very kind and nice. And with that said, I think that's everything. I think we plugged everything. We talked about NXT. We talked about Unpopular Review. So I guess we're going to call it home. What's the thing they do now? We play the music before we leave or some stuff, right?
We play our outro.
All right, we're gonna play that outro for you guys. Is it playing?
That's because our back.
That took way too long for that to play. That was ridiculous. All right, guys, that's the end of the show. You hear the music. They're telling us to get off the air because we've been on too long. What's the damn outro thing? This is bad. Outro. I have it. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week.